But I can imagine we're going to see somewhat similar bans. We may or may not see the Ying ban and the Maestro ban because those might have been a little more specific, especially the Maestro ban. But there is going to be the Lion going off first. This is the one I'm curious about, is what they're going to go with for the second ban. Is it going to be Glaz, Ying, Valkyrie? Those are all kind of the top picks you saw before, as well as topics. There we go. Well, we didn't see actually that much Glaz play last time. We saw Slash playing a few times. But outside of that, we didn't see the other team playing Glaz at all last time, so definitely not something they want to deal with. And probably Echo for this next one rather than Maestro, but you never know. Because I feel like that Maestro is a bit more of a target ban against Rogue. Oh, Clash.
Clash, okay.
Well, that's going to leave Maestro and Echo available, which means site pushes are going to be pretty hard. I don't think Clash was going to put up as much of a fight as you would from a Maestro or Echo. So I feel like maybe SSG is giving Obey a little bit of power on their defense once they get there.
All right. See how this is set up. It seems like we're going to start off on Armored Lockers and Archives for Space Station Gaming. Bringing out the Maestro here is with the Mira being banned, you should expect maybe an Echo plus Maestro type of play with the smoke. It combos very well, but I'm not sure if Space Station are looking for it, which is not Redeemers.
Ooh, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, Redeemer not playing on Echo or Maestro.
What is this?
Interesting difference, though, compared to the last match, is they always played Habana for their Hard Breacher. We're seeing Thermite here this time.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
We got grenades well available for Obey. My man bringing in the soft breach of the sledge.
They're bringing out Dokkaebi right away as well. So we'll see if it pays off again. IQ being played, though, quite a bit. I think North America especially seems to think that the nerfs weren't enough to stop playing IQ. So maybe the developers don't feel so bad about those nerfs, you know, from Ubisoft because, well, still getting played and quite a bit.
Shala reinforcing the break room into the hallway. We've been seeing quite a bit of that, and they'll leave half of it soft. Okay.
5 seconds left.
Interesting that they reinforced the right-hand side one, not the left-hand side.
Well, I mean, it doesn't open up the same angle. It gives you the angle into fountains. You can see exactly what they're doing there. They're opening. They want the angle into fountains. We've seen this quite a bit from some teams. I feel like more often than not, I've seen the defenders actually lose those fights, and it offers an opportunity to provide crossfire onto CCTV for the attackers.
They do have an Evil Eye from Maestro set up on the reinforced wall to look down into the hallway, but Bosco should be able to make quick work of that on the Zofia the instant it is spotted. That's
a good point, though, as he definitely can do that. Although he could try and get peeked by the ACOG Maestro while he's trying to do so. Unlikely to happen, but either way, he's actually not going to bother with it just yet.
Yeah, they did leave a half soft wall, even broken down here at Space Station, so they can use that for early picks. See, Bandit batteries already been set for Space Station. Adam going in for the drone play. It's something that we were talking about early on in Season 8, like Obey Alliance, how are they going to work out with the drone play? How is the information game gonna work? And Adam's been doing a pretty good job.
Guys, he just does what he wants. He's like, hey guys, while you're doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and go in the building and drone myself in from there.
Yeah, it's it works. I mean, he's still alive, right?
Yep.
So Brian upstairs in the office, get the spot on the drone and take it out, relocate and set himself up in a better position. Adam opening up the side wall. Bosco can go for the peak. Of course, the entirety of Fountain has been opened up by the defenders early on, so you can go for the counterplay with the ACOG, especially with Chala, and that's the long angle.
Yeah.
All the way into the office from CCTV.
I think that's going to be the main thing that keeps Brian alive, is this point. If he could try and contest them a little bit, distract them, that gives Maestro potentially the angle for Chala to get a kill on one of them, if they're not waiting for it. Also, Redeemer as well, trying to play some angles. So they've got 2 ACOGs stacked up in here. He actually still has 1 yokai in his pocket as well that he has yet to throw. My man, though, actually the one for the first kill. So Brian, unfortunately, not saved by Chala. Good angle play from him.
Just gets shot down from the ventilation. Redeemer now setting up his second yokai, and he'll get information on the 2 players in office.
They do have 1 Thermite Breach charge left, so I gotta imagine that's gonna be for the Archives wall once they get up close. Now that the bandit's dead, should be a bit easier to try and pull that off, as he's not gonna have any spare batteries to play because, well, they're in the grave. So they're in a good, or even better position to try and set this up. But that yokai drone is definitely going to be a problem for them because I doubt they're going to see it. Skies is nowhere nearby to actually spot that. He's still using his IQ just for other stuff, or IQ powers for other stuff. But Redeemer with a nice kill into Adam.
Yeah, he takes down the hard breacher, but Adam's job has already been done. Opens up the wall with the thermite. Rampy looking on in with 10 seconds left. Space Station are just gearing up for the final push. Redeemer setting up his yokai drone. A spray into the smoke. Doing damage to my man, but not enough to clean him up. 1 second left. And there you go. The Echo drone will save things. My man will get one on Rampy. Not enough, unfortunately, here time-wise. You see the Echo just sends it all down, denies the plant. Just sits in the back of Armory.
Unfortunately, for all the time that Obey spent getting in there into offices, getting set up for a push through the archives, they got pretty destroyed once they actually got in. Seemed to be a big problem for them because they burned so much time. They were getting close to an actual plant though, so credit to them for that, but unfortunately that means that's one person not on his gun, and the collapse definitely worked out there from SSG, taking advantage of both the Maestro and the Echo. So we'll see though. Brian's going to be the one on Echo this time, interestingly enough. Redeemer's going to play that Pulse. Thinking they're going to sneak out an Alibi. Potentially, if he doesn't change his mind. Mudjib has just been switching some loadout. But interestingly enough, similar to what we saw in the last matchup, when Mouse were on defense, they're going to play Custom second instead of Vents. So maybe Vents is starting to fall off the meta a little bit. We did see Rogue and Mouse both struggle with it. So I can understand maybe just in the current way that people are playing, struggling more than you would have expected. In Customs, we did see some success with it. So, although as you mentioned, that was due a bit to a clutch.
Yeah, we'll see how Space Station run with this one. As we saw before, having the Buck definitely does help on the attack. Just able to destroy the top part of that 4-meter wall. Rampy will set up his Evil Eye in this very same position.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say it probably worked. It's hard to tell exactly with a lot of the positions we were watching. We couldn't necessarily see whether or not that was a big factor, but it's certainly nice to have that extra bit of intel, and they didn't seem to want to dedicate too much to taking it out. But we will see, again, a similar attacker lineup. I'd say it worked for the most part. Adam got his job done, as you mentioned, before he got killed. Used both of those breach charges, so that's all you can really ask for from a lot of people.
My man with the drone all along the outside goes in the drone hole. Skies in the meantime using his cassette tape to... Oh, there we go. They were indeed watching. And Sky's going to try to get this one in play. There we go. He'll go above Transformer. But in the meantime, it's my man to get the shot on Chala. Grenade should get tossed in to take down the Bandit battery. Unfortunately, it does not hit. So the Thermite's going to have a bit of a struggle. At least one of the parts is open. There you go. Should be able to open it.
Well, now they have some good access here, but Pulse was obviously catching that, as well as, of course, the Thermite breach charge is going to make quite a loud noise. So they're going to be better prepared for a push from there. But this could just be a setup to distract them as they start to execute on the other players on the rest of the map. In the meantime, though, at least they have Chala down, so they have some manpower advantage. But that means Maestro and the Echo are still left alive. Not to mention some good utility here from Redeemer.
The thing with this attack is that you never want to go in solo through detention.
No.
Redeemer can instantly get the ping on you and chuck a C4 in there. You'll be locked into a position where you can't really escape. In the meantime, Obey are trying to take control of the top floor, at least on the balcony. Make sure Thinking Nate does not peek against them on the Alibi, of course being that odd pick. Now, with Chala already been taken down, you're going to have to worry. The calls coming in, though, from Benji will make things a bit more complicated for Space Station, as now they'll have information on the position of the Alibi. Rampy spraying in here as the diffuser might get set, but Benji will get taken down. Adam just close to getting it done, and the diffuser will get set, but Redeemer spots him, takes him out. 4v2. It's all up to Skies and my man. No grenades left here. Skies gets one on Rampy. They'll need every bit of information to deal with these players. As Sky's just playing along the outside. My man walking into the site as he goes in for the spray, but it's Brian to win it out. Can they get the spot on Skies? Yes, they do. That's one kill. Can he get the second? Skies will have to face up against Thinking Nate, but the Alibi will clutch it, and the Diffuser will get taken out. Space Station Gaming to clutch the round at the end of it. They had the manpower advantage. Obey made it very complicated for them to move in. We talked about the attack pushing in from detention. Fortunately, in this case, it was the defense trying to move back into the stock room and get the diffuser down, but there you go. Didn't work out for Space Station.
Gotta love Redeemer just running through the smoke right past the diffuse plant and still firing right into it, right where the Thermite was playing. So nicely played. Defenders barely clutching that out, though. That was a good plant attempt again. So far, Vents hasn't been good. They were going to go for it right now. Customs has had a better success rate, which, again, I think is interesting in terms of the meta shifting a bit. Maybe we'll start to see more Customs after today just because of the number of successes, but a lot of those have been down to clutch plays. You mentioned the one earlier. We just saw one now. I guess if you have the frag power, people like Shuttle or Skies, you know, you could pull it off.
Well, now it's on to the workshop. And the thing is, the rounds have been close for Obey.
Yeah.
It's just so close.
Much like their score lines. Yeah, they just can't seem to close them out in their favor.
And that's the frustrating part because we know the amount of skill that this squad has. Hell, you saw them at the Paris Major. Go toe-to-toe to Rogue, so close to getting the win at LAN when you're not really expecting that to happen. And yet, the finisher here in every single round, it's like, you have it all. Why is it not working? I don't know if it's part of the teamwork. I don't know if it's just the calls at that point. I don't know. For me, they're seeing the diffuser being set right next to the window is a perfect spot for the IQ to play from the outside. Not sure why this guy's just dove in through the window and tried to contest the 1v1 in the doorway.
Definitely a case where he unfortunately put himself in the line of fire. Couldn't quite get that clutch, but I definitely feel like he had the potential to. He just didn't necessarily play it correctly. He's going to be running that IQ again. They're again going with the same attacker lineup. I would say it's been working okay. Unfortunately, it's not been working well enough to get the points. And the defender's doing pretty much the same thing in terms of running a similar lineup for the most part. Brian, though, going to be on Pulse, so they're switching it around. Redeemer's going to take over that Echo duty, deciding, you know what, I'm the better Echo still, so you get on that Pulse. We'll see how that goes out. Redeemer again, keeping one in the pocket, something we don't necessarily see from a lot of Echo players. A lot of them will throw out both and get them set up. But him being such a well-known Echo player, it's just, you know, his own personal style.
All right, Bosco still holding up from the east balcony. A couple shots land right next to him as he pulls back. Bit of damage done to my man as well. Not the end of the world, as Lifeline will get chucked into the archives. And of course, since it did not instantly pop, means that there's nobody in there. And indeed, that'll be the case. Bosco just moving in and setting up in the fountain. Potential to open up the sidewall here, but at least he'll put his drone back in play. Make sure you don't destroy your teammate's drone. And just unsure of what to do, I guess.
Yeah.
Gathering information. The rest of
I mean, we saw in the last matchup the Zofia going just for vertical play every time. I believe it was Hyper, just doing a fantastic job, and it just doesn't seem like we're seeing that same level of play from Bosco at the moment.
And there we go. The drone will come in, spot the Maestro, but the Maestro has already seen the drone, so Shala is very careful about what he does in this position. We might see a call coming out to freeze him in place. Stinking Nate's playing from below, and they do have Rampy to hold on. So there's a few angles that can be protected here by Space Station. Redeemer likely on a Yokai, where Rampy just picks up, gets the kill on my man Shala. Facing the call, as we just mentioned, but nobody's pushing in. And Space Station immediately falling back, not over-peaking the angles. And there you go. Rampy back down on the server. Benji rotating down. Space Station get the pick and then relax.
Well, we'll see, though, if they can relax for too long, because 27 seconds left means the push is going to come here. They're starting to get set up for the potential plant, but Bosco is still upstairs. He's not really supporting at the moment, just never really figured out what to be doing.
He's trying to cut off the rotation, possibly, from the customs inspection, as Bosco will get one. Redeemer, though, is set up, and they have not dealt with him just yet. He buys a couple seconds as he takes down one. Still has a second Yokai shot at Skies. Will get the kill, but the Fuser will get set here. Does he have the angle? Shala has it. No time left. Shala gets the kill. It wasn't Skies that was going in for the plant, but I guess they just pulled off of it. What What happened there at the end?
It seemed like they must have pulled off of it because it looked like he was still in the animation, in the moment that it ended. But of course, if he pulled off of it, it will end potentially even before we see him come out of the animation. So, unfortunate though, that is going to be, again, another round lost for Obey. Still struggling. I guess I take back what I was saying about Bosco because he found 2 kills right after I criticized his slow placement. So good on him. Took a while for him to get into the right spot, but definitely worked out in the end for the most part. But unfortunately, they were not able to close that out. Good plays here. So SSG still in the lead, have done the tour of all 3 bomb sites. They're going to probably just repeat the tour for the most part here as they go back up to lockers, which they can do now. And impressive, we finally seen a successful Vents defense today.
Yeah, and you know what? It worked out pretty darn well. It was very much clutch, where Obey had every single advantage in their hands. It started off very well for Space Station with the pick in the armory desk, and then devolved into a hold from Obey with 15 seconds left. The diffuser just never came down, and the big thing for Space Station, for Obey, is that they were never able to take down the Echo, neither him nor his Yokai. And I have to say, when you're not running around trying to find the Yokai to protect your teammates, you're not playing the IQ right.
Well, honestly, when I was mentioning earlier about why Redeemer had 1 Yokai in his pocket all the time, I didn't really make the connection then, but that makes a lot of sense. If you know they're running an IQ, keep the one in your pocket because then they can't find it early and shoot it out. And, I mean, it's working out so far to an extent. So, nicely done by Redeemer. With a little bit of foresight against IQ play, which has been extremely common here today.
My man here on the sledge, just going off the balcony. Obviously open up the side and move into detention, as you always have to worry if you're on the attacking side here at Border of potential plays from the bottom floor. Fortunately for Obey, there's no pulse available.
No Valkyrie either.
Yeah.
So, and that's what usually you want to worry about the most in terms of runouts. They are doing a bit of slow drone here, but they're making progress. A minute has been burned already. Thinking they playing such an aggressive smoke position. This is definitely something that could cost him a bit, but he's looking for maybe a freebie if he can catch maybe my man at the wrong moment there, unsuspecting. And Sky's again downstairs looking for things here instead of kind of playing where the attackers are mostly attacking from.
Oh, there you go. The calls coming in. The Dokkaebi really being shown off, but we're going to use that as bait, as the grenade's going to get used and won't really tag anything as Rampy re-maneuvers. Sets himself up behind the desk in CCTV, waiting and watching for the peek from the sledge. He's unsure which angle to watch. The drone coming in kind of has an idea of what's happening here. My man with the timed grenade. There's a bit of damage to Rampy, but not enough to clean things up. The ping, though, helping him and correcting the aim as my man gets the kill on Rampy. Takes a lot of damage in the meantime. The peek from the smoke stick grenade does not do much, but he will have to fall back as the Zofia will ping in the players inside of the armory. Will have to fall back, but that battery has not been taken down, and Skies is just in here, so they're gonna have to take down the left-hand side, and Bosco even taking it down from below. There we go. That's what you need. Use the Zofia, much simpler to deal with, keeping the IQ up top so they can deal with the Yokai drones of the Echo.
Well, they are getting in position here for this push, but 40 seconds left, and just now having got the wall open, as well as it being only 1 man up here, and nearly my man being dead as well. He is, there we go, he's going to drop the diffuser, so Benji can go for the plant instead. But so far, this is looking, it's still very good for SSG off the way they've played the last couple clutches.
Look at those holes that have been pre-opened by the smoke. The call has come in. Thinking Nate still has 1 gas canister to go, and he walks right into the Dokkaebi. That's the diffuser now in his hand. He can just watch it with the shotgun. Brian with 1 more of the rotation on the Bandit, and 2 players right in front. Does he spot him? Yes, he does, but Skies is ready. Gets 1, still has not taken down the Yokai, and he's just there. He takes it out the last second, and the C4 connects, and yet again, the IQ busy with kills or the plant instead of leaving it up to the Thermite and watching for the Yokais. We talked about this in our first matchup. Mousesports and Rogue both pretty good in time management when they pushed in. This time around, Obey Alliance on the attack, not the case at all.
Yeah, it definitely seems like I gotta again wonder what. I mean, we're not always seeing what's going on, but I do wonder what Skies is doing most of the time, because the usual jobs you'd see IQ doing, he seems to be far away from each time. And I mean, maybe he's catching gadgets and things like that we're just not seeing, but he's not a grenade operator anymore. So he's not someone that could be using the grenades to do something. He's mostly either going to be hunting someone or hunting gadgets, and we're just, I don't know, we're not seeing a ton of that here. So, I mean, I'm not going to fault him for it, as he's one of the few with kills. Benji and Adam with 0, and Chell and Rampy also with 1. I feel like so many of these rounds surprisingly have come down to time that we're actually not even seeing a ton of frags on the board here from either team. But Skies and my man, at least trying, as well as Bosco. And Redeemer, despite playing on Echo, has still pulled off an impressive 4 kills, although he is going to give the Echo over to Brian again for him to take back on that Pulse. Seems to be the lineup they want to go with for this particular bomb site as they go back to customs, because Vence, again, is still seeming like the redheaded stepchild here all of a sudden.
It's a bit of an odd thing to say, really, when currently a lot of teams have been struggling with the defense on here, but already 4 rounds for Space Station on defense. It's a pretty darn good spot to be in.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good to be able to take this with a potential sweep even. That was a pretty good last round as well. I mean, it was unfortunate for the smoke there that he just did not see IQ coming through, which Skies, made that plant attempt. But the relocating of his plant after the floor got exploded, that was really what cost him, because I don't think Redeemer was actually able to hit him with the Echo drone from that position. So unfortunate for Skies right there, who was, rather than using his gadget to look for the Yokai drone and have someone else plant, I think that was maybe the wrong call. Either way, though, you do see him looking for gadgets. You saw him spot an Evil Eye as well as Alibi's hologram. So he is at least finding things for callouts here, but again, we're not seeing him do a lot of executing on those gadgets.
Bosco moving in here as the wall is left soft. The offices looking into archives, just moving in. He's got a drone in front of him. Get the information to move in if need be. Now, Rampy, in the meantime, in the armory lockers, has the angle to play against the Zofia, of course, with a similar ACOG. My man up on the drone. Thinking Nade has not been spotted just yet, but he will not be moving out of that window anytime soon. Now, because he's crouched, you can definitely spot which one's the real one and which one is not. Drone's going to get taken down as Skies on through it, but my man has soft wall to play with. But look at the direction of the soft walls between the armory and outside here in CCTV. Thinking Nade with the Bailiff finisher. My man down on the floor and taken out. Advantage for Space Station, but Brian here being shot down, this time on the Echo.
Yeah, now the Echo is down earlier, so they do have a much better shot at this time, but we did see Redeemer make some good heads-up plays last time when he was on that Pulse. Thinking Nade as well has been doing a good job here, and Bosco has already lost a huge chunk of his health. So this is, again, slowly sliding the way of SSG here as phone calls come out.
This might just be the thing that Oping require, though. Every single time it's been the Yokai that's been causing problems, and maybe you can call them the Vitality of NA at this point, but still, if Brian is down and no more Echo to worry about, maybe this is the spot that they wanted to be in. The Echo, of course, lying on the floor with Skies moving up. Destroy the wall on one side, using it as bait, as he has a drone right in front of him, getting the information, but Redeemer gets the shot. Bosco with 1, Thinking Nade on the refrag as the Alibi is already dropped down. 2v3. Advantage for Space Station as they walk in. Adam gets shot down. The finisher from Thinking Nade is Benji trying to spray through from the top floor. He'll go in for the kill, but Shala to finish him off. 5-0 for Space Station Gaming on the defense, and they are ecstatic. The squad, they could take the victory today that gets them closer and closer and put them at the top until our next matches with SK and EG, which might not go their way, and we might see Space Station take up that second spot.
Well, if you're paying attention earlier, as I mentioned, the last time and the only time Space Station played this map, they 6-0'd Cloud9 on it. We could see a perfect 6-0 a second time from Space Station. What a record that would be on Border, to have 2 6-0s as your only play days on this. And they're, well, 1 point away from pulling that off. Obey starting on Vents here, I would say, is probably the most counterintuitive thing I've seen so far, given the track record today.
maybe it's what they need. I mean, this is the thing. When you play a certain operator so many times, you kind of not only know how to play it, but also how to counter it. And having the Echo be played by Adam for Obey might not work out too well. Space Station, worried about potential roam play. They'll bring in the Jackal to try and hunt down the Yellow.
I think that will probably, work out to an extent. Although now they've got to rethink some things because it is a different bomb site, I would imagine, than they were probably expecting, unless they knew Obey well enough to know this was coming. But this feels like a Hail Mary in terms of picking this bomb site.
It very much is when it's on match point.
Yeah. So we'll see, though, if Obey can pull it off. Again, a lot of these rounds have been close. The scoreline is misleading in that, yeah, sure, it's 5-0, but Obey put up a heck of a fight every single one of those 5 rounds. There has not been any rounds similar to what we saw from Rogue, where Rogue just dominated. Now, it's been neck and neck every time, but again, Space Station are the one coming out ahead consistently here. And I think I would definitely be putting my money at this point on Space Station to take this map, even if Obey could get a few more rounds here.
Yeah, so far, the momentum has swung very much in the favor of Space Station Gaming. I think they're taken off of Cape Canaveral at this point. So, Obey just locking it on the inside. Rampy watching for potential peeks off the desk in the archives. Chala continues in with the drones. Nothing spotted so far.
Always nice to use that drone before you go in and face scan with the Inox.
Yeah, just face check everything.
Why not, right? Your visor will protect you. We are seeing them start to at least push in towards offices here to start to take the top floor of the map, though. But a lot of droning coming out, and then once they have some map control, Chala's Inox, as we were just talking about, will start to lock down some of these players. If they can lock down my man, like you were just talking about earlier, that could be a big boon to this attack, because my man running around on that 3-speed sneaky Ella is definitely going to be a problem once, time starts to dwindle down. But I got to imagine they're going to go for the hunt. Rampy going to be also bringing IQ, so I'm curious to see if he's going to counter Adam's drones maybe a little bit better than the Skies was doing against Redeemer himself.
And that's what would have expected, but it all depends on how well you can take everything around the site before you get on it. Because if you lose too much time trying to get into the site, then you won't have enough time to take down the Yokai drones.
Oh, there goes one.
That's one. That's already huge. There's still a second one being set, but execution is perfect. There's a minute 17 on the clock. And Space Station are clockwork.
No kills, though. So that does leave a lot of potential for retake at the end if they cannot flank watch everything. Rampy, though, takes a lot of damage, but Skies is the one to finish him.
Face checks in here. Takes a bit of damage, but that's a finisher on Rampy. Means that the Yokai drone will be a bit more safe for Adam. But there's a lot of time, and the wall's already been opened, so Space Station are looking pretty darn good for a push in here. Unless Obey can utilize their better position inside. Speaking of which, Skies will get taken down. Redeemer with the refrag on my man. Now it's 3v4.
Well, Smoke is down, and at least one Yokai are down. They are in a good position to plant with that man advantage as well, but slow going here. There goes more Smoke. They're going for it at this point.
Yeah, 30 seconds on the clock. A Thinking Nade catches one off on the rotation. The Fuser will get set, but there you go. They found the second one, and that's why you always want to take down at least one of those Yokais before getting down on the site with a lot of time left. Bosco with one, and Chala with the finisher. 4 players still alive for SSG, and it's Obey Alliance going down 6-0.
Noble's got to be happy right now.
Oh, yes.
This is a little bit less chance that they end up auto-relegated.
Yeah, that's the exact point I was just going to make. If you're in position 8, you get auto-relegated.
Yeah, and then again, as I mentioned earlier, that is now 2 6-0s against 2 different teams on border for Space Station. So, any team thinking about playing Space Station on border might want to check that, because
the thing is, this is not only a 3-point victory, but this is a 6-0. This gives you a huge advantage in terms of pure rounds that'll count towards your score. But also, it's basically points, then head-to-head score between the 2 teams, then your overall rounds, and that's 6-0.
Well, it's not just the 6-0, it's 2 6-0s. So that is yes, 12 rounds of point differential in their advantage overall. That just is adding way up. So I'm interested to see the standings at the end of this, once we get to the end of all the matches, where they sit now, because they're definitely shaking up that top 4.
I mean, they had 19 points, 18 or 19 points, and so with the 3 points that they get off of this, they're at least at 21.
Could you imagine if EG and Cloud9 tie again as well, definitely could see an SKSSG.
And that's the
Rio.
thing. Playdate 12 and 13 will be the most important playdays before the last one, because at 14 it's pretty much set in stone. Maybe there's the second team that'll be exchanged, but because it's a tie at the top for North America, there's still upsets that might happen, and the fact that Rogue won, it might give them the chance for Playdate 13 and potentially 14 to make it through still to land. There's still potential, and this is the exciting part of the 14 Playdays and having matches for all teams every single Playday.
Yeah.
There's always potential for upsets and for changes, and the closer we get to Rio, the hotter it gets.
Well, I'm glad to see that Brian was able to work it out today in terms of playing much better than we had seen him in the last couple times. I mean, he's not like an impact fragger or anything like that, but he was doing his job quite well. Overall, though, it was good to see everyone doing what they do well on Space Station, especially, of course, we enjoy watching Redeemer on that Echo drone and was doing fantastic on it. He had a couple of good clutches with it as well. Overall, Space Station seemed to be that old strength that we saw at the beginning of the season coming to that. Now, Bay still consistently struggling, unfortunately for them. As even if they don't end up in 8th, I think it's very likely they end up in 7th. At the very least. Point. So there's a very good chance they unfortunately might end up in Challenge League.
It is unfortunate with how these rounds have been close, at least some of them. But our interview is ready. Let's have a quick talk with Space Station Gaming. Hello, Lycan. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
We're pretty good over here. It's a 6-0 sweep on your end on Border. Gotta feel good.
Yeah, it feels great. So, second time we've played Border this season. Both times have been 6-0, so it feels really good.
That is it's very, very true. But a few questions, so pick your brain for a second. So far, how do you guys think Brian's been adapting to the squad after these few play days into the second half of the season?
It feels really good. I feel like with him added to the team, we actually got a lot better because his in-game comms, pretty much we added a second IGL to our team. And I think one of the big things we had a problem with the first half was that sometimes we'd stall out or we'd second guess what we were doing and things wouldn't happen. So bringing Brian on board, Redeemer and him are allowed to pretty much split the load and come up with ideas together. So it's helping our attacks out a lot.
Well, you mentioned Redeemer. We saw his Echo play go pretty much uncontested throughout the match. How important was that, and how did he react to not really being contested the entire match?
Yeah, we were surprised. I mean, in the current meta, there's a lot of things that you can do to deal with Echo, and that's why I know a lot of people get upset when we don't bring him on it. But honestly, in this current meta, Maestro is just so much stronger. But we saw that they were going to let it through, and we had a lot of cool ideas with Echo on Border specifically that we haven't been able to use in a long time. So we said, hey, let's pull it out. Let's see if it works. And he just wasn't hunted, so he capitalized on it and punished him for it.
Yeah, if anything, this is the time to pull out those pocket strategies because you're going to need them. You're very close to making it to the Rio Finals, which definitely would be a change of pace in North America Pro League. But, you know, a few things maybe you'd like to say about how to deal with the Echo as an IQ, because here and there wasn't really much done to face it.
Yeah, I don't know how much I'll help other teams with their Echo play, but I mean, one thing is you have to know how the Echo is going to play it. There's some Echoes that use Echo essentially as a Valkyrie with a weapon attached to the camera, and then there's some that want to use it strictly for executes. So I mean, it's really just comes down to gameplay.
Yeah, it's basically all your experience scrimming against the teams and maybe what information you can gather from the others. But again, congratulations on your match. Anything you'd like to say to your fans here, Lycan?
Same thing as always. I appreciate everyone coming out and watching today. No matter who you support, thank you for being around the R6 scene. And we'll be very interested in the 2 last games. So.
Yeah, I can tell you we are. That's definitely a truth. Anyways, thank you very much, Lycan, for the interview. Congratulations again on your victory, 6-0 here on Border. We'll see you soon.
Thanks. Take care, guys.